Hello, this is Kari Fell. Welcome to my studio. Okay, I'm trying something completely different. Something to shake me up and get me trying some new colors, get me out of my comfort zone. I got the idea from Rebecca at Chemnitz, and also Celtic Ravens. Cindy does something very similar to this too, actually. So what I did was I took all my dyes, all my stock, and wrote the colors down on pieces of paper. And I have a row of bottles of dye in my squirt bottles that have been used for other projects, and they're all leftover dyes sitting there. And I line them all up in a row, and there's 10 of them. So I put numbers 1 to 10 in the bin too. And then over supper, I brought the little container with all the bits of paper, and my family each chose one. My son wanted to choose 2, so I let him. And we chose a random assortment of 4 things to dye the next skein. So the first was light rhodamine red, so meaning like a dilute form of that, and a light violet, so a dilute violet. And then number 10, so that's the 10th bottle, which is this one. It looks like, there we go, bit of a bluish turquoise, so that'll be good. And then dark chestnut. So I'll take some of the stock and mix up a dark squirt bottle of chestnut, which is a brown. So those are colors I probably would not have used together. So let's do this. So I have a warp in here, 2 warp chains, will both be part of the same warp for the rigid heddle loom, 3 yards long, and they are this tweed wool. So 97% wool and 3% viscose. And this is, yes, the color, it's wet in the pan, which darkens it up quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is put the light colors on first. So there's 2 light colors, the rhodamine red and the light violet. And I have them in squirt bottles already, but I'm going to use a very dilute version. So I'm going to take my 1 cup measuring cup of this water, which has citric acid in it already. And I'm going to put a few drops of rhodamine red in it, which is already diluted. So this is going to be a very pale version of what it usually is. So there, just less than a cup of water with a squirt of rhodamine red. Let's give it a stir. So this is my pale rhodamine red. So we're going to put it down at this end. Maybe a bit here too. Now, light violet, and again I have some violet mixed up, so we'll scoop a cup of water. You know what, we're going to put on some heat already. Get this with just a few drops of violet. I'll add that. Ooh, that might be too pale, hey? That hardly registers. Too pale. Let's suck up some of this water out of the pan. And we'll add some more violet. And put it back in. Okie dokie. What was the next color? Number 10. Whatever this is. We'll add it now. And it is not a pale version. And the last color is a dark chestnut. Yeah, let's get that color to strike so that I can flip it. Dark chestnut. I'm going to have to take the stalk down and put some in a container. Got the dark chestnut here. It's escaping. It's a funny color. It's purple in the bottle, but put it on the yarn with even the slightest bit of heat and it turns brown, which is kind of cool. The first time I mixed it up, I thought I made a mistake. I got that I mixed up with the violet instead of the chestnut. And so I mixed up a whole nother stalk, and then I realized that's one of the characteristics of it. So I'm going to let this heat up. After most of it's absorbed into the yarn, I'll flip it and add some more color. Interesting color combo. Nothing I would have chosen. The chestnut is oozing over everything. Overpowering the blue over here. Anyway, it's heating up. Come back after it's steaming. So, very cool. Mostly absorbed so far. Flip it. Ah, nice color on that side. Wonder if I should add a bit more color or if this is nice. It's kind of nice, isn't it? Get a bit more of that violet. So water. So I'm getting some more of the water with another squirt of violet. I'm just gonna introduce the violet in here. And maybe a little bit more over here. And a touch more of the brown there. I like this color scheme. Never would have put it together on my own. I better go write it down. Take my 4 here and write it down. And we'll let this now heat set for 20 or 30 minutes. So after some time, it looks like it's soaked, drawn up the color out of the water. We've got basically clear water left at the bottom of the pan and a very interesting color scheme. I had so much fun with this. I am going to do another couple of warps. Got my family to draw some more colors. So we'll take these out. So we have a dark warp and a light warp. First color drawn was number 2, which is whatever's in this jar. Don't know what it is. Bright red maybe. I never labeled it. Number 9, which is whatever's in this squeeze bottle, which looks like a turquoisey blue. Leaning more towards the blue than the green. Dark twilight. So I mixed some of that up. It looks brown when you mix it, but it turns blue as it heats, opposite of the chestnut. So anyway, dark twilight. And then we have a light brilliant blue. And I believe that this is a brilliant blue, and I will just put a dab of that in a cup of water. How about we start with that mystery whatever. It's a red. Okay. That's the red. Then we need a light brilliant blue. So we're going to take another scoop of the acidic water and we're going to put a squirt of the brilliant blue in there. we have some light blue. Then we have whatever this is. It's a blue. This is not a light color. So far we're looking like Montreal Canadiens. My husband will be happy. And Twilight, which so far is going on a brown, looking black. Let's heat this up and see where it takes us. So it has there's just color on the ends, not in the middle. So we're gonna flip them. And then I'll cover it up and we will call this a finished colorway. Okay, this experiment went way better than I expected. This is the finished dry yarn from my game where I got my family to randomly choose 4 slips of paper. I wrote on separate pieces of paper each of the dyes that I own in a light and dark version. I also numbered off the extra bottles that I have on my counter of random mixes, and I'm not quite sure what they are, and threw them in the pot as well. My family drew 4 slips, and whatever they pulled, those are the colors that I used. So this is the first one. There was a light rhodamine red, which gives us this pink tone. A light violet, so some purples in the mix. One of the random bottles, which ended up being sort of a turquoisey color, and dark chocolate brown, which warmed the whole thing up. we have this beautiful mixture. Can't wait to put it on the loom and see how it weaves up. Then I got them to do it again, and I dyed up 2 warps. The colors were a light blue, which largely got swallowed up, but there's little areas that stayed light. A mixture that I didn't know what it was. It was a red. It was very old, but it gave this interesting red. Another turquoise, dark one, and dark twilight. And it too gave an amazing color scheme. It's a little greener than what it shows here. It's much more turquoise rather than blue. So yeah, so I have 2 warps in. This is with the tweed wool, and then this is with the 4-ply wool. So here's a little slideshow of 2 of the cowls that I made from these dyed warps. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I welcome all your comments, and I'll try to answer all your questions. If you'd like to help support me as I create these videos and share what I've learned, please consider joining my Patreon. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching.